My sugar daddy woke up. He lied to me about going bankrupt to make me leave him.
Just as I was about to agree.
I suddenly saw some floating comments. The evil female lead never saw this coming. The male lead awakened and discovered she's a gold digger. So he's pretending to be bankrupt to come his losses in time. Poor male lead. Even though he's awakened, when the female lead leaves, he'll still sadly chase after her. Above commenter, if the male lead doesn't chase, how will the female lead appear to comfort him? So, I'm supposed to be the matchmaker between the male and female leads. Unfortunately, I don't have the generosity to help others find love. I secretly pinched my waist and forced out a tear. Then, right in front of Ryan, I took off my diamond-studded Pat Philippe watch and handed it to him. He instinctively took it looking confused. What's this for? I wiped away the tear I'd barely managed to squeeze out. What else could it be?
Of course it's for you.
Ryan's face darkened. Lucy, what do you mean? What do you take me for? A gigolo?
How could he think that?
Have you ever seen a gigolo this rich and cunning? I hugged his lean waist, topping a feel while I was at it. Of course not, Ryan. This watch is for you to use as start capital. Ryan forcefully broke free from my embrace, ripping my shoulders. You're not leaving? I blinked my big eyes at him. Why would I leave? He stayed silent. I huffed and playfully punched his biceps, pouting. Ryan, what do you take me for? If I left just because she went bankrupt, would I even be human? Ryan had always been thin-skinned. My words left him speechless. After a long pause, he finally said, the Johnson Corporation kicked me out, and my own company went bankrupt. Stay with me means you'll suffer. Your grandmother's in the hospital and needs expensive treatment every day. Without money, how will you pay her medical bills?
Oh, right. I almost forgot about that.
When I first agreed to be Ryan's mistress, I used the excuse that my grandmother's hospitalization required a lot of money. In reality, I'd already bought comprehensive insurance for Grandma. Her hospital bills looked expensive, but most were covered by insurance. It barely cost anything. I pretended to look down sadly. It doesn't matter. Worst case, I'll get a job. I only want you anyway. Then I forced a brave smile. Ryan, you used to take care of me. Now I'll take care of you. Ryan seemed moved and hugged me tightly, swearing, Lucy, I'm so lucky to have you. I hugged him back, watching the endless stream of comments. Female lead. Keep pretending next you'll be selling jewelry and bags to run away. What's wrong with the male lead? How can he so easily believe the evil female lead? Male lead, wake up. She's totally be a gold digger, don't you think? The male lead smile is a bit sinister. He obviously doesn't believe the female lead girl above. Don't be so paranoid. He's totally in love.
Okay.
The next day, Ryan left early in the morning. When I asked where he was going, he said to figure out how to raise money. I tearfully saw him off. After he left, I quickly got up and, following what the comment said, searched for all the luxury items Ryan had given me. Just as I was happily rummaging through everything, more comments appeared.
See?
The evil female lead can't handle any hardship. She's planning to run away. The male lead, watching through surveillance, is about to crush his phone. He's so obsessed. There are cameras everywhere except the bathroom. I paused while searching through the jewelry. What cameras? Everywhere in the house.
Haha.
Then I'll play along with his game. Ryan was generous with his spending on me. In 3 years, I'd accumulated quite a lot from him. It took a full hour to gather everything. After packing, I took out my phone and photographed the pile of bags and jewelry in the living room, sending it to David. David was Ryan's friend who owns several luxury consignment shops. Call came quickly. The moment I answered, he started yelling, Lucy, I knew you were a gold digger. You're selling all the gifts Ryan carefully picked for you. I said coyly, oh, come on.
Just tell me if you want them or not.
He gagged on the other end.
Don't use that tone with me.
I'm not Ryan. I don't fall for your act. Do you want them or not? If not, I'll give them to someone else. David shouted, yes. I want them. Wait for me. He hung up immediately. David and his appraiser arrived quickly. The appraiser's eyes lit up seeing the room full of bags and jewelry. All the jewelry had professional certificates, making authentication easy. After the appraisal, David waved his hand and bought everything. He looked at me disdainfully. Does Ryan know you're selling these? I looked down glumly. Don't tell Ryan about this. David had that I knew it expression. You gold digger me doing good deeds. Get me called a gold digger. Of course not. So I walked closer to David and whispered in his ear. You do this, then do that. Remember, don't tell Ryan I asked you to do this. David's ears turned red. After my few sentences, his expression changed from disdain to shock to admiration. Sister Lucy, you're not a gold digger. You're my goddess. After flattering me, David left with the appraiser. They came empty-handed but left with suitcases. Looking at the empty living room, I felt nervous. Looking up, I saw comments floating by. I told you, the evil female lead would definitely sell the jewelry and run away. If the male lead's car hadn't broken down, he would have caught her red-handed. If the male lead's car didn't break down, how would the evil female lead escape? If she doesn't escape, how will the male lead chase her to the airport in a subordinate's car? If he doesn't chase her, how will he get in an accident and be saved by the female lead?
Exactly.
This is a redemption story. Can't wait for the female lead to appear. I scoffed. So the female lead hasn't even appeared yet. Ryan found me chatting with the security guard at the gate. He dragged me away with a dark expression and pulled me back to the villa without a word. The moment the villa door closed, my heart trembled. What trick are you playing now? Ryan loosened his tie with one hand and, ignoring my protests, tied my hands with it. He leaned down, gripping my chin. Weren't you going to run?
Why didn't you?
I said innocently. Run from what? Ryan grabbed my arm and forcibly dragged me to the room, pointing at the empty cabinet I'd opened. Where are all the things I gave you? I lowered my head and whispered. I sold them all. Ryan's anger skyrocketed. Just as he was about to explode, a notification sound rang. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Bank deposit, $10 million. Then his phone rang. Ryan glanced at the caller ID, hung up, and was about to pocket it when it rang again. Only then did he answer. I caught a glimpse it was David. They talked for a while before Ryan hung up. After ending the call, he looked at me with complete guilt.
You did so much for me.
Why didn't you tell me? Tears poured from my eyes, but I didn't speak. Ryan untied my hands and held me.
Lucy, stop crying.
It breaks my heart when you cry. I'll never doubt you again.
I'm sorry.
Comments floated with his words. Male lead, what are you doing? If you don't leave now, you'll miss the female lead. Laughing to death. The female lead has passed by 3 times and still hasn't bumped into the male lead. I feel like the female lead is the real NPC. The female lead is changing strategies. Doesn't she know she'll die if she doesn't go abroad? I let out a surprise sound while enjoying the gossip.
What?
I'll die if I don't go abroad? I wanted to keep reading comments, but Ryan covered my eyes with his large hand. Lucy, don't get distracted right now, okay? I struggled. Dude, I'm not getting distracted. I'm trying to save my own life. I'm not.
MMA. HM. Monsieur Lucy.
Be good. Let's do what adults should do. I'll never doubt you again, Lucy. Actually, I did. I kissed Ryan back, not letting him reveal the truth. If I knew the truth this early, how could I continue making trouble? How could I fight for my maximum benefit? You played me, and think some sweet words can appease me. Dream on, Mr. Johnson. You spoiled my appetite. So you're responsible for the after-sale service? After-sale service? I mentally scoffed, pushing against his chest with just enough resistance to be playful, but enough force to create distance. Ryan, we can't. I lowered my eyes, acting the part of the concerned, self-sacrificing lover.
You need to rest.
You've been under so much stress with the bankruptcy, and I need to go prepare. Ryan frowned, his hands lingering on my waist. Prepare for what? To support us. I lied through my teeth. I have an interview. A modeling gig for a Taobao catalog. It doesn't pay much, but it's a start. Ryan looked like he'd swallowed a lemon. He knew, and I knew, that the Johnson empire was perfectly fine. He was sitting on billions while I was talking about modeling cheap sweaters for $50. The guilt in his eyes was delicious. Lucy, you don't have to. I want to. I interrupted, placing a finger on his lips. I'm not a vase, Ryan. I can weather the storm with you. I slipped out of his grasp and retreated to the bathroom. Once the door clicked shut, my demeanor vanished. I pulled out my phone and checked the air above the bathtub. Comments. User 882. OMG, she's actually leaving? If she leaves the house now, she misses the plot point A. Story hater, the car accident happens at 10 a.m. at the intersection of 5th and Elm. If the male lead isn't there, the female lead, Emma, can't save him. Romance god. Wait, if Lucy goes to the interview, she'll be crossing 5th and Elm at exactly 9:55 a.m. Drama queen, grab the popcorn. The villainess is about to steal the heroine's thunder. My eyes narrowed. So, the famous hero saves the beauty scene, or rather, beauty saves the billionaire, was scheduled for this morning. Ryan was supposed to drive out, get hit by a truck orchestrated by his business rivals, and Emma, the original female lead, would pull him from the wreckage, sparking their love story. If I let that happen, I'm done for. Emma enters the game, Ryan feels indebted to her, and I get tossed aside to die in a ditch somewhere. No way. I quickly changed into a simple white dress, something that looked fragile but allowed for movement, and applied no makeup. I'm heading out, Ryan. I called from the hallway. I'll drive you, Ryan said, emerging from the bedroom, keys in hand. He was wearing a suit that cost more than my entire non-existent debt. No. I shouted a little too loudly. I softened my tone. Gas is expensive, darling. I'll take the bus. You save your energy for finding new investors. I ran out before he could argue. I didn't take the bus. I hailed a cab and gave the driver a triple tip. Get me to 5th and Elm. Step on it. I arrived at the intersection at 9:50 a.m. It was a blind corner, perfect for a staged accident. I hid behind a newsstand, watching the traffic. Comments. User 882. She's camping. LMAO. Watch her look. The male lead followed her. That black Maybach. Logic fail. Why is he driving the Maybach if he's bankrupt? User 882. He forgot to switch cars. He's panic chasing her. I peeked out. Sure enough, Ryan's sleek black car was weaving through traffic, scanning the sidewalks for me. He was distracted. And then I saw it. A heavy cement truck barreling down the cross street, ignoring the red light. It was happening. In the original script, Emma would happen to be crossing the street, see the car, and rush out. But looking around, there was no sign of a pure, innocent flower girl. Wait, there she was, buying a latte at the corner cafe. She was looking at her phone. She wasn't even watching the road.
Comments.
User 99. The female lead is distracted. The plot is breaking. Villain fan Lucy go. Secure the bag. I didn't need the encouragement. I needed Ryan to owe me his life. I sprinted. I didn't run at the truck. I ran toward where Ryan's car would impact. As the truck slammed into the passenger side of the Maybach, spinning it around with a deafening screech of metal, I threw myself onto the pavement near the driver's side door, deliberately scraping my knees and elbows until they bled. Glass shattered. The car came to a halt, smoking. I screamed. Ryan. I ripped the driver's door open. The airbag had deployed. Ryan was dazed, blood trickling from his forehead, but he looked conscious. Lucy, he coughed, his eyes widening as he saw me. How? Why are you? I saw you. I sobbed, reaching in to fumble with his seatbelt. I saw the truck. Oh my God, Ryan. I dragged him out. He was heavy, all muscle, but adrenaline and the thought of his bank account gave me strength. I pulled him to the curb just as the truck driver stumbled out, looking horrified. A second later, Emma came running out of the cafe, holding her latte. She froze, seeing me clutching Ryan's face, weeping hysterically. Ryan, speak to me. Don't you dare die on me. I wailed, burying my face in his neck to hide my smirk. Ryan wrapped his arms around me, shaking.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
You saved me? I pulled back, tears streaming perfectly down my cheeks. I had a bad feeling. I missed the bus. I was walking and I saw. Emma took a step forward. Do you need help? I snapped my head toward her, my eyes fierce and possessive. Call 911. Don't just stand there drinking coffee. Emma flinched, retreating. Comments. User 882. Fatality. The female lead just got demoted to NPC. Gold digger queen. Don't just stand there drinking coffee. I'm dead. Plot twist. Ryan's affection meter just maxed out. He's looking at Lucy like she's a goddess. The hospital room was a VIP suite, which Ryan tried to explain away as the hospital has a charity program for destitute businessmen. I pretended to believe him. My injuries were superficial, scraped knees and palms, but the doctor bandaged me up like I was a war hero. Ryan had a mild concussion and a fractured arm. Lucy, Ryan said, his voice thick with emotion. He was using his good hand to hold mine. You could have been killed. I don't care, I whispered, resting my head on the bed. If you're gone, what's the point? The door creaked open. It was David, the friend who bought my jewelry. He walked in, took one look at us, and almost choked. Ryan. I heard about the He spotted me. Lucy. Hi, David, I said weakly. I'm just glad he's okay. David looked at Ryan, then at me. He cleared his throat. Ryan, about the company situation? Not now, Ryan cut him off, shooting a warning glare. Suddenly, the comments above David's head started scrolling fast. Comments. Leakmaster. Careful, Lucy. David is bringing the fake debt collectors to the hospital to pressure Ryan, to test if you'll stay by his side during a medical crisis. Drama lover. It's a double test. I mentally sighed. This man was exhausting. Even after a car crash, he was running tests. Right on cue, two burly men in cheap suits barged in. Ryan Johnson, one shouted. We heard you're in here. You think getting hit by a truck wipes your debt? You owe us $5 million by Friday, or we take your legs. Ryan's face paled, bad acting. I need more time. He looked at me, waiting for my reaction. I stood up, wincing on my injured legs. I walked between Ryan and the thugs. Get out, I hissed. The thug blinked. Listen, lady. I said get out. I grabbed a glass vase of flowers from the bedside table and smashed it on the floor. The crash silenced the room. He is injured. He almost died today. If you want money, you talk to me when he recovers. But if you touch a hair on his head while he's in this hospital bed, I will scream so loud the police station 3 blocks away will hear me. I don't care about the money. I care about him. I shoved the thug. Go. The actors looked at Ryan, confused. Ryan gave a microscopic nod. They grumbled and left. I turned back to Ryan, my hands shaking. I won't let them hurt you, Ryan. I have 2 kidneys. I can sell one. Ryan's eyes went red. He pulled me into the bed, burying his face in my hair.
No. No kidneys.
Lucy, I have to tell you something.
Comments.
Spoiler alert, he's gonna confess. He's gonna drop the act. No. If he drops the act, the story ends. You need the abroad arc to clear the death flag. Panic spiked in my chest. If he confesses now, we live happily ever after? No. The comment said I would die if I didn't go abroad. The plot force would kill me off to make room for Emma if I stayed in the city as the official girlfriend. I had to stop him. Sure. I pressed my hand over his mouth.
Don't speak. You need to rest.
Whatever it is, we can figure it out later. But Lucy, I'm not. I know. I smiled sadly. You're not the same powerful CEO anymore. But you're still my Ryan. I effectively gaslit him into silence. A week passed. We were back at the villa. Ryan was becoming increasingly possessive. He installed more cameras. He wouldn't let me leave his sight. The comments were getting anxious.
Comments.
Death clock, the gas leak incident is scheduled for 2 days from now. If Lucy is in the house, she dies. Plot fixer. She needs to escape. Ryan's obsession is turning this into a horror movie. He's planning to lock her up to protect her from the debt collectors who don't exist. I sat at the vanity, brushing my hair. Ryan was watching me from the bed, his gaze heavy. I was thinking, he said. We should move. Go to a private island. Just you and me. With what money? I teased. I have connections. I needed to leave. Tonight. I had already contacted David secretly. I told him I found out about Ryan's real wealth but wanted to teach him a lesson for lying to me. David, simping for my loyalty, agreed to help me smuggle myself out. Ryan, I said, turning to him, I want to make you a special dinner tonight. To celebrate your recovery.
I'll help. No. Seek.
It's a surprise. I went to the kitchen. I didn't make dinner. I crushed 4 sleeping pills into his wine. It was a risky move. If he had high tolerance, I was screwed. Dinner was tense. I fed him steak. I poured the wine. To us, I said. To us, he drank. 20 minutes later, he was slumped on the table.
Comments.
Cheerleader, he's out. Go, go, go. Map guy. David is waiting at the back gate. I kissed Ryan's forehead. Sorry, honey. I need to go save my life, so I can come back and spend your money later. I ran to the bedroom, grabbed my passport, which I had stolen back from his safe. The combination was his birthday, the narcissist, and a single bag. I met David at the back gate. He looked nervous. Lucy, are you sure about this? He's going to flip. He needs to learn to trust me. I lied. Take me to the airport. I'm going to Paris. I'll call him in a week. As the car sped away, I looked back at the villa.
Comments.
Future sight. Ryan just woke up. He didn't swallow all the wine. He's checking the cameras. He sees the empty room. Scary, his affection meter just broke. It's now at psychotic obsession. Run faster, Lucy. 3 years later. Paris was treating me well. I hadn't just been hiding. I'd been building. Using the startup capital I'd squirreled away and some smart investments based on stock tips from the comment section, I had launched a luxury fashion brand, Lucy. I was walking the runway finale of my spring collection. Flashing lights, applause. I felt invincible. The comments had been quiet for years, only popping up occasionally to say things like, nice dress, or she's winning. The death flag had vanished the moment I left the country. I walked backstage, accepting flowers from admirers. Mademoiselle Lucy, my assistant said, looking pale. There is a supreme investor here to see you. He bought the entire front row, but didn't sit in it. My heart skipped a beat. Send him in. I knew who it was before the door opened. The air pressure in the room dropped. Ryan walked in. He looked different. Older, colder, more dangerous. He was wearing a suit that probably cost more than my entire fashion line. His eyes locked onto mine like a predator finding its prey after a long hunt. Hello, Lucy. I forced a smile, leaning against my makeup table to hide the trembling of my legs. Ryan. Long time no see. I heard Johnson Corp is doing well. Recovered from bankruptcy. He didn't smile. He closed the distance between us in 2 strides, trapping me against the table. You knew, he said, his voice low. You knew I wasn't bankrupt. You knew about the cameras. You knew everything. I blinked. I don't know what you mean. He pulled out his phone. He played a recording. It was me 3 years ago, whispering to David at the gate. He needs to learn to trust me. David cracked under interrogation about a week after you left, Ryan murmured, brushing a stray hair from my face. I've spent 3 years dismantling every obstacle in my way so I could come here and collect you. No more tests. No more games. The comments suddenly exploded into existence, filling my vision.
Comments.
Finale hype, it's happening. User 882, the male lead has fully blackened. He's not here to ask, he's here to take. Romance god. Kiss him. Or he's gonna burn Paris down. I looked up at him. So? Are you going to punish me? I saved your life. I left so you could rebuild your empire without a gold digger dragging you down. You left, Ryan growled, because you wanted to play God with my feelings. You pinched your waist to cry. I saw the footage, Lucy. I replayed it 1,000 times. The fake tears. The acting. He leaned closer, his lips brushing my ear. And I loved every second of it. You're just as twisted as I am. My breath hitched. So, what now? Ryan reached into his pocket and pulled out the Patek Philippe watch, the one I had given him that day. He clasped it around my wrist. It was cold against my skin. Now, he said, you pack your bags. We're going home. And if you ever try to run again. He let the threat hang in the air, seductive and terrifying. I smirked, wrapping my arms around his neck. I saw the final comment float by.
Comments.
System. Happy ending achieved. The villainess and the villain lived happily ever after. The heroine is currently working as a barista at Starbucks. Good game. I won't run, I whispered, kissing him. I have a business to run. And I expect Johnson Corp to be my biggest investor. Ryan finally smiled, a dark, possessive grin that promised I would never be bored or alone again.
Deal.